going good, she comes right back, sometimes right with something equally as bad. Some days she has me so confused, I don't know what to say or do. Because we have been through so much together. I've grown extremely attached to her, to a point that I love her and don't want to let her go. Although I know the time will come and I have to leave her behind. It's funny that after all she's taken me through, the pain, the joy, the tears, the fears, the highs, the lows, and so much more, I still love her with all my heart. I will love her until the day we depart. Life, no doubt. Life, that's who she is. I love her. Welcome, family. Welcome to Peep Game TV live show. Today, I want to apologize for last week. I had a lot of things going on and, I was kind of rambling. Plus, I want you guys to understand that this is something fairly new. So what we're doing here is just getting the feel of everything, getting used to how this thing gonna flow. I decided that we're gonna deal with relationships because relationships are one of the most important things that we got to deal with as a family and as a people. But everybody who's listening, I want you to know that I consider you my family. I would like for you to share this with others. Subscribe if you already have it. So here we go. First, I want to talk about our relationship with America as so-called black people. I'm pretty sure that if you're like me, you realize that that there's a lot of things that are not right or not equal when it comes to us as a people. And I like to consider us a family, and America basically is our opposition. Let's look at us as a team, and America is the opposing team. So, what is the best way to defeat the opposing team? The best way to defeat the opposing team is to be equal with that opposing team, to have the equal amount of players and equal amount in skills as that opposing team. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten there. But the good news is we're working towards it. We're working towards getting to that point. What if I was to tell you, or what if we were able to create our own government that would protect us from America, that we can turn to in the event that we have been mistreated, and that has been a whole lot. We've been mistreated more times than all of us can count. Some of us, not so much, but the majority of us, no matter what hierarchy we in when it comes to finances, we still are being mistreated. And the main thing is about being equal, being treated with equality. I think that's one of the most important things that we could do with each other and for each other. So, as I was saying, if we could increase our relationship, being that we're talking about relationships, if we were able to increase build a better relationship with America, would you be interested in doing it? Would you be interested in creating a better relationship with America so that we would be on the same type of standing. If, pardon me. Getting back to the point, if we were able to create a equal relationship or to have a relationship with America where we be looked upon as equals, would you be willing to do it? And what would you be willing to do to make that happen? What exactly, how much would you sacrifice? Because many of you are already sacrificing. Many of you are trying to fix the system from within. And that's a good thing. However, how's it been working? We still have been going through the same type of things. For example, part of the reason that I was a little, off last week because I'm dealing with something with insurance company. And, it's they're dictating to me what has to be done, how it has to be done, and they've basically lording their power over me. And there's many occasions where many of us is caught up in that type of thing. We're caught up in where we're unable to do what we believe that we can do because we're being held to a standard that our opposition decides. And who wants the other team to tell you how to play your game? See, part of peeping game is to expose the game that's being played on us and by other people and be able to make the playing field equal. So for me, my personal belief, the best way to make the playing field equal for us, being that it's 2024, a presidential election, if we were to fill the seats of our own government rather than try to vote for the opposition. And voting for the opposition hasn't done, hasn't done us too good. It hasn't changed what's wrong with our situation. It hasn't made our situation better as a collective. Few people prosper and do well, but I'm concerned about us as a family, us as a collective. I do this out of the love for us as a family and us building healthy relationships between ourselves and others so that we will be able to be more prosperous, have the inner peace that we so desire. This is, my purpose and what I am passionate about. I'm not getting paid to do this. Matter of fact, I spend money to do this. So for me, it's about seeing the results, getting the results that we need as a people. So going back to, and I'm not going to stay on this too long because I want to get into the relationship thing because I believe that in order for us as a family to get to where we need to be, we have to reestablish healthy relationships between the men and the women. And once we are able to do that, then we'll be able to move in the manner that we need to move. But getting back to the point of right now, our relationship with America and us voting for the opposing team's government. My suggestion is And I don't know if many of you are aware that we have family members who have built states and put together government and have a lot of empty seats that need to be filled. And there are other states that need to be reestablished. And I know this may sound like a lot, or some of you probably saying, I got too much going on. And it's, if that's the case, it's not for you. It's for those of you who are interested and really tired of dealing with the same old thing and getting the same results. It's for those individuals who wants to be state people, who wants to be administrators in their own government. This is for those people who are willing to dedicate 2 to 3 hours on studying and learning how to make this happen. And the best way to make this happen is to go to YouTube, Impact study sessions, start with 1 on to 11. Me, myself, I'm at 104, 104, the 104th study session. So, why I'm saying this is I'm not the teacher. I'm just giving the messenger. But the good brother J Bay, he will explain to you how to turn the state that you live in into a state that will represent us. Because remember, we're more than black, we're more than people of color, we're more than athletes, we're more than niggers, we're more than Negro, we're more. And there's power in being more because there's legal ramifications that many of you are unaware of. And by going to that impact study session, listening to the good brother Jay Bay, and doing your own research, you'll understand exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. And it's 2024. So why not have our own states, our own states as a family where we can be equal with the so-called America, the United States? Don't we deserve that? So it's A as in all, M as in man, P as in people, A as in all, C as in children. Study session. Start with 1, go to 11, and put down what you think. Put down, after you watch it, put down what do you think about it. If you're anything like me, by the time you get to 11, you're going to want to go further because it's worth it to have inner peace than to be in turmoil. So many of us are in turmoil. So I'm asking you to take the time out of your busy day. I know everybody's busy. I know everybody got things that, they have to do, need to do, and want to do. And however, sometimes you're overwhelmed. And nobody understands that more than me. So what I want to start with, and I put some work in for you guys, man. Put some work in because you're my family, and I love you, you know. And I want to put something out to you. 7 ways to build good communication, because in order to build what we need as a people, we're going to have to learn how to communicate. And that's with whatever we do and whomever we have to deal with. Part of what's going wrong in our community is not to be blamed on our opposition. Sure, they bear some blame. However, everything that we want done, we have the capability of repairing it. And in order to repair it, we have to be able to communicate with each other. We have to be able to communicate with each other in a healthy way and build healthy relationships. That's what it's going to take for us to get to where we are capable of being, to connect with our ancestors, to overcome the hardships and obstacles that we are being faced with on a daily basis. I'm sure many of you feel like giving up on a daily basis, but hang in there and hold on because help is on the way. So let me start with, as I said, relationships. And let me start with one of the key components that a relationship needs to help you communicate, and that's active listening. You need active listening so that you practice by giving each other your full attention. When the person is speaking, allow the person to speak. Don't interrupt them. Let the person know that you are concerned with what they're saying, and you know strive to put yourself in their position. Strive to look at it from their point of view, because far too many times when we communicate with each other, we're too busy trying to get our own point across, and we're not really listening to the other person. So active listening is a part of that. It's basically about, you know, being understanding and sensitive to how somebody else feels. Everyone has feelings, and everyone's feelings is valid. Are they correct all the time? No, it's a feeling. Feelings vary. Feelings change depending on the mood you're in. That happens. So we have to strive to be sensitive of each other and not so sensitive to the point that everything a person says it rubs you the wrong way. Because many of you are totally too sensitive when it comes to communicating and when it comes to people, your partner, your spouse, your family member, people communicating with you and trying to express to you how they feel. And sometimes you get offended and there's no reason to get offended. And the reason that you get offended is basically because you didn't take the time to listen to what the person was saying. Another point of good communication is to be open and honest. Being open and honest, eh, you know, in order for that to happen, both of you have to work on creating an environment for each other to feel comfortable enough that you can be honest with how you feel and what you feel. That's truly important for us and for anyone. Each of us want to feel that we can be open and honest. However, Not feeling that way, what is created from that? If you don't feel like you can be open and honest with the person that you're with or people that you're working with, it creates friction. And who wants to build a relationship based on friction? We have enough going on in our daily lives to have to go through and build friction with people whom we have to be around with on a daily basis, people whom we are doing business with, or people whom we are dating or married to. All of these relationships are important. These relationships are important because they help you become a better you. And isn't that important to become a better version of yourself, a higher version of yourself? Work through the hardships and work through the parts about you that you're not comfortable with, well, your flaws, work through your flaws and strive to overcome the flaws. And one of the, so it's incumbent upon us to communicate well, to make our relationships what they should be. The next one of the 7 ways to build good communication is when discussing a when discussing a sensitive issue or expression or expressing your concern about something with someone, make sure that you use I, saying I rather than saying you. Because if you're trying to express a concern or something some type of issue or problem that you're facing or that someone has caused you or inflicted on you, and you start off with saying, oh, you did this, you made me feel. No, because what happens then is now, rather than you explaining to the individual how you feel and why you feel the way that you feel, you're pointing at the individual and making the individual have to feel defensive rather than being able to understand what they did to you that caused you to feel the way that you do. This is important, family. It's important for our well being. It's important for the children's well being. We have to be able to work through our issues. You know, for example, if you're going through something, you'll say to the person, "Look, I feel unappreciated." You know, now you're saying to the person how they make you feel. You're saying to them that, "Look, you look at me in a way that makes me feel like what I do don't matter." And no one wants to feel like they don't matter, especially to someone you love or care about. I think that's truly important for us to recognize that And by doing that, rather than, saying, you don't appreciate me, now you force a person to have to defend themselves and try to explain that they they do appreciate you, or what make it becomes a conflict. So, be clear with that, using the I, so that you can put it on yourself and what you're going through, and expressing what you're going through, so that the person that you're comfortable with, the person that you love, or the person that you're doing business with can understand how you feel and what's going on. And then they can internalize it and give you the type of response, hopefully, that will help you understand that that was just a feeling that you felt, and they truly appreciate and respect you. The other form of good communication is nonverbal. Now, nonverbal has a lot to do with your facial expressions. Your facial expressions is important when someone is trying to convey how they feel or what they think. And you say, for instance, someone is talking to you about how you guys can make your relationship better, or how you guys can come up with a better business plan. And you're looking up in the air, you're looking around, you're looking down, you're checking your watch, you tying your shoes. These are all body language that would say to the individual, you're not interested in what they have to say. And far too often, this happens. Part of us as a family, as I say, I look at you as family. You're my family. I'm talking to my family here. So I should be able to express how I feel and how I see things to you. And mind you, if you have any comments, or you have anything that you want to say, put them in the comments. Put it down in the comments. Let me know. If there's something that you would like for me to discuss, or for us to discuss, then put it in the comments. Because ultimately, I'm doing this for us. It's about us and it's for us. We, as so called black people, are proud to be black. And for years, I've been proud to be black, you know? So it's it's something that we've been we've been taught. It's something we grew up with. And I don't want to, it's my mind is pulling me to go somewhere else, but I'm going to stay on topic. I'm going to stay on topic of the relationships, of and the part of the relationship is building good communication. That's what I'm going to stay on. And trust me, bear with me, because I'm working on this live thing. I'm used to recording what I say, editing it, and then giving it to you that way. Now I'm giving it to you straight up raw, straight up me. I don't want to have to pretend to be somebody, or be somebody I'm not. There's too much of that's going on already. So I'm going to be me. I want you to be you. And we do what we do to make us as a family a closer knit family, a more prosperous family, a more unified family, a more upright family. That's what good communication can do. Good communication can do that for us. Now, the other of the seven ways to build good communication is empathy and understanding. Empathy and understanding is important. You know, showing that you can identify with what a person is going through, that goes a long way. That you're able to put how you see things aside and really get down or really let go all your own personal biases and really get to a point where you really see and understand where another person's coming from, even if you don't agree with where they're coming from or what they actually, the point that they're trying to make. It still builds a healthy relationship and it builds a connection that a person is able to see that you really are concerned about what they're saying. You really doing your best to understand what they're saying and what they're going through rather than to dismiss them and make them feel like what they're saying is not valid or don't mean anything. So it's and by doing this and making a person feel validated and comfortable and supportive, you create a safe place for people to communicate with you. And this will work for your children as well. Because face it, family, we're not communicating that well with our children because our children seem to be on something totally different. So this communication is a key component to helping to rectify some of the ills that we have amongst us. Communication is key. It's a key and intricate tool for us to use. We have to be willing and motivated, and we have to practice it. We have to practice utilizing these, these seven ways to communicate. If you forget, go back, play it over, listen to it. I took time to do my own little research so that I could give you something that would be helpful. There's other times where I just do it, I just talk to you on the fly from my heart. But today, I took time to actually do my research to come up with these seven ways to build good communication. So the next thing is clarify, you know, clarify and seek clarification. Clarify and seek clarification is important because if someone says something to you and you don't really understand what they're saying, or you're too busy trying to give a rebuttal, you won't be able to speak, you won't be able to know exactly what they're talking about. So, or the other thing is, for example, if someone says something to you and you've been listening, you've been using your active listening skills, and you still don't really get what they're saying, they wasn't quite clear on what they were trying to convey to you, don't feel like you're being disrespectful or you're making the person feel bad by asking for clarification, asking for them to make what they're saying more clear to you, rather than just automatically assuming what you think they meant. How many times has that happened, people, family? How many times has that happened? How many times have you been in a conversation and someone said something and you automatically jump to your own conclusion? You automatically decided what the person meant rather than taking the time to really understand or get clarification what the person meant. It's important. It's necessary. It's a necessity. Good communication is a key component to building healthy relationships. This is why I decided, to talk about it. And as I do this, as I get more familiarized with, you know, you as an audience, you as my family members, and we get to open up more where, because I'm communicating to you now, and you start communicating back. That's going to be, then we can really build something because we all have to remember that none of us make any accomplishments without the help of someone else. We, many of us, I'm sure you, like I, have heard people say that they're self made. To some extent, yeah, it takes yourself to motivate you, but you still have to have some type of help. How did you get here? You had a mother and a father. So you had help. So we all need some help at some point in our lives. We all need some type of help. And I'm here to try to offer the help that I'm capable of giving. So my help to you is giving you information. Whether you utilize it or not is up to you. But I'm taking the time out of my busy life and my busy schedule to give you information, to share with you. So share with me. Put your thoughts, your comments, subscribe if you already haven't, share this with others so that we can continue this. Now, the seventh and final way to build good communication is practicing constructive feedback. How important do you think that is? How important do you think it is to practice constructive feedback? Now, something like that, I think, will really go a long way with children. As I said, relationships, men, women, the men and women, yeah, it's key that we are able to communicate so that we are able to identify, to connect with our children. So, practicing constructive feedback is being able to say things to individuals that lift them up instead of bring them down. Say things to people that make them feel like what they're saying is important, like what they're saying has meaning. It's it's just as humans, we all want to feel needed. We all want to feel love. We all want to feel appreciated. And all, all of these attributes are attributes that we want to put in our relationships, put in our come across in our communication. That's what we want to do. We want to be able to do that. We want to be able to build healthy relationships, strong relationships, good relationships with each other. We want to be able to do that. We want to be able to overcome whatever obstacles that we have that separate us by being able to sit down with each other and communicate. Sit down with each other and be able to effectively talk about whatever it is that we're going through, whatever it is that we're dealing with, whatever it is that we would like to pursue. All of those things are important. They're important to each and every individual. Each and every individual want to want to pursue something, you know? So in closing, I want I appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking the time to spend this time with me. And I look forward to spending more time with you. And as I said, bear with me. Any comments of how I can make it better, make it more interesting for you, then give me those comments. The key thing is I'm communicating with you, and I would like for you to communicate back to me by, you know, putting how you feel and what you see and what you think in the comments. But more importantly, I want to go back to what I was saying about the impact study sessions and the importance of those of you who are sick and tired of what we've been going through or what you've been going through and you want a better way, then go to the impact study session, listen to the good brother Jay Bay, and let me know. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it's something for you. With that being said, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And peep game and keep game.